So first of all, what is enterprise? We will see now. Generally, in Fusion applications, whatever the setups we will do, it will come. Everything will come under one enterprise. Means, for example, if client would like to implement Fusion HCM and they have taken the license, means whatever the setups for that client, entire setups or entire their structure will come under one umbrella that is called enterprise. Like even if they create so many business units, legal entities, legal employers, that doesn't matter, departments, divisions, but all should come under one enterprise. Even if they have a business in US, UK, in any country also, everything will come under one enterprise. Okay, so now we will see. So this is the home page. So to go to, first we have to go to setup and maintenance. Now we are going to see how to create the enterprise configuration. So click on setup. So here there will be a list of tasks that we need to define, like different functional areas. Among them there is an enterprise profile. So just check with enterprise. Search with it. So select establish enterprise structures. So what we are doing here means we are defining all the enterprise structures. We are here, it is a kind of configurator, means it's a kind of question and answer type. System will ask you what type of business you are doing. So according to that, it will suggest you solution. So it's up to you whether you take that solution or not. But it will be a like question and answer type. Let's see. This is a page how it looks like once you go to manage enterprise configuration. So these are the different enterprises. And if you see the status, there will be a not loaded, loaded will come. So what does it mean by means? You can create any number of enterprises because this is a test instance. But whatever you loaded, that is going to be the main one. That is the only enterprise which is going to be the main one. Can you please all of you keep it on mute? Okay, so whatever is loaded, that is going to be the main enterprise. What does that mean by loaded means? See, while creating this enterprise, we will create legal entities, business units, legal employers, reference data sets, all that stuff. But once we create this, it won't get affected. Means when we go to legal entity, if we search for legal entity, it won't appear because it is not loaded. Only we just created it. Once it is loaded, if we search with those details, you could able to get it. That is what it meant by loaded, and it is going to be the main enterprise, and whatever setups you are going to do it, everything will come under this enterprise. Clear? So let's create one enterprise. Okay, what is our enterprise name? Let's say USX Enterprise. Give the same description. Click on OK. So this page will appear, manage enterprise page will appear. So what is the short? This is the existing enterprise what we have taken, so which is loaded. Okay, so let's take this. So here they are going to give short name. Okay, let's take this USX Enterprise. See, why we got this DOP means this is what already loaded enterprise. Okay, this we have already loaded. So that is why it is appearing here. And if you don't load it and it is the first time that you are starting this means, it will come like Vision Corporation or something. So what you have to do is you have to change the name with your client enterprise. For example, if you are implementing for some client, let's say X, then you have to replace that Vision Corporation with X Enterprise. Okay, so by default it will come, so no need to worry about it. But right now, why we got the OP means it's already loaded. That is why we got this here. And give some short name to it. And what could be the primary industry for you? What is your primary industry? Let's say my primary industry is some finance and insurance. Okay, finance and insurance, and headquarters in the country. Let's say US, United States. Okay, and what is the legal name for that country? Oh, for that company. So USX LE and legal identifier, yes, USX LE 012, and registration number. This data you don't need to worry about it when you try to create with the client. This data you will get it from the client itself. Our finance people will do this one. Will give you this data. Okay, you can get it from the client or finance people. You can get this data. And what is legal address? In our previous session, we have seen how to create a location and all. How to create location and legal address. Here also, you can create the legal address, or else you can search for the existing one. Okay, let's create one. Okay. This place actually, instead of this, what you can do is whatever we have created earlier location, you can take it. Okay, that legal address. And coming to the next part, that is enterprise configuration requirements. What it does mean by means, see, continue with the interview to set up more legal entities. Means it's not only just to create the enterprise. After that, we have to create legal entities, divisions, business units, departments, and even locations, references, right? So, do you want to continue with the with the question and answer type setup, or else you want to stop it? So, let's say I'm going to continue with the interview to set up more legal entities. Click on next. So, what happens is if I select this radio button, it will keep on give me this. Okay, manage divisions. So, if I click on create, I can create my division here. Okay, USX division 1. It is asking whether you want to continue with the same question and answer type. Means you want to copy it from the existing legal entities, you want to copy it from the BUs, something like that. It will ask questions. So according to your answers, this setup is going to do it. So that's why, that's what the question is. So here USX division 1. And what is the country? We have United States, let's say. So like this, you can create how many you want to create. If you have two divisions, you can create two divisions. If you have three, you can create three. Okay. So generally after enterprise, we will create divisions. It's not that mandatory that you have to do it. It's like one division or else two divisions or three divisions you can create. Under divisions, you can create legal entities. After that, you can create business units. Like that, the hierarchy you can define. Okay. And click on next. See, by default, what happened is whatever the division that you have created or whatever is the legal address that we have given, all this data came here because this is a legal entities. So if you click on generate automatically, if you automatically generate legal entities, then existing legal entities will be deleted. Do you want to continue? We can use this legal entity, right? Because we have already given the legal address. So we can use it. Or else even if you want to generate automatically, let's see what will happen. I'll show you that as well. So this is whatever legal entity that we have here given, it is going to be an ultimate holding company as well. So yes, USX Enterprise, USX division. Okay. See, so I have selected division and enterprise. So according to that, these legal entities got created. Okay. I can give this data. So I have to enter all this data here first. Okay, like that you can create if you set generate automatically. Okay, or else if you don't want, you can delete it here. Click on next. See, next, automatically generate business units. Do you would like to generate legal business units automatically? So how you will create business units automatically? That question is again here. At the business unit level, legal entity level, okay, legal entity level or division level or function level, legal entity and function level, country and division level or only division level. So you can select anything. So let's say I've selected legal entity level. Okay. So in that legal entity level also, whether I select all or whether I select only one, it's depending on this. Okay. I can select all, I can select only one. If I select all, according to that, all these three business units will get created. See what will happen if I click on next. See, these are the business units that got created. Okay. USX Enterprise United States LEBU. Okay, this one, this one, this one. So means when you select automatically generate business units, it will give you an option which level you would like to create business units. Means if you have two legal entities, it will create two business units. If you have three legal entities, it will create three business units. If you select legal entity, same way if you select division, we have only one division. So one option will come at the division level. You can select that option so that only one BU will get created. So it is depending on the level what you select and how many options that you have chosen. So according to that, these things will get generated automatically. Okay, click on next. So these are the codes for these business units. Okay, and first of all, let me explain you what is common set, what is enterprise set, and this stuff. See, common set means you can access the data which has defined as common set. For example, if you defined any data like job, common set means you can see the job throughout the enterprise, whatever you have defined in your system. So wherever you go, you can see the job. Same way, if you set a legal entity set, USXLE set, means only in that particular legal entity you can see that data. Means what we are doing here means we are providing the security or we are restricting the data. Generally, we will get a requirements like only this particular business unit people could able to see these jobs. Only these, for example, there is a finance manager job. So finance manager job will be there in BU1 and BU2. So to avoid duplicates, what we can do is we can define finance manager job in common set so that it will be accessible across BU1 and BU2. Okay, that's what it meant by. When you keep utilizing this, you will come to know. Okay. Next. So these are different data sets. Again, manage business unit set assignment means we can assign this to a different set like USX LA set. This is BU1, LA set, division 1, common set, enterprise set. Let's set a common set for all of this. If you want to override set assignment, you can do it here through editor. Next. Manage location reference sets. We have one legal address, so it's going to be a common. Okay, if you have 2 3 also, it will get displayed here. So what we have done so far is instead of going to manage legal entity screen, create legal entity, go to business unit, create business unit, instead of doing individual pages and doing all that setup, we have used enterprise configurator. So what we did is it has asked based on our it has asked a few questions based on our answers, like it will ask about business questions, what type of business you are in and how you wanted to have these business units, how you are going to set your legal entities, how many you would like to have. So based on our answers only, we have created all these things. Means whatever we are business, according to that we did setups. So once we save and submit, so we have created legal entities here, we have created business units here. If you go to business unit and check for business unit, you can't see the data. Okay, why? Because it's not yet loaded. Okay, it's not yet loaded.
So is there any process?
Sorry?
Is there any process to update the data? Or we need to run any process?
No need to run any process. We have to load that. While loading, it will run a process. So once it is loaded, then we could able to see all the data. Okay, so instead of doing duplication and so much of work, we have done it a single, and in real time scenarios, we will load it actually. Because this is a test instance and already one enterprise is loaded, so that is why we are not going to load it. But in real time scenario, we will create one enterprise, and if we have all the requirements at a time in a single shot, like these are the legal entities, and these are the business units, and these are the set assignments. If you have all that data, directly you can create it here and you can load it. Okay. So this is all, and at a time, remember, only one enterprise will be loaded, not too many, only one, because everything will come under one enterprise. So obviously you have a chance to load one enterprise. Okay, because this is just so many enterprises were there but not loaded, only one could able to load it. Okay, if nothing is loaded here, this button will be enabled. So once you click on here, load enterprise configuration, this column if you see, so once if you click on this load enterprise configuration, you could able to load the enterprise. So once if you load the enterprise, what will happen? Whatever created throughout this enterprise cycle, legal entities, business units, divisions, everything you could able to see it in the system. For example, let's say we have created legal entities. Now if we go to manage legal entities and search for that legal entity, you won't be able to see. You cannot see. But at the same time, in this, whatever we have created, we could able to see because it is already loaded. Okay, do you got the difference between loaded and not loaded? And if you create the configuration, what will happen? If you load it, what will happen? If you don't load it, what will happen? Is it clear for you?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's all clear, right? And see, if generally in a single shot starting itself, nobody will give all the requirements like, okay, these are the business units, these are the divisions, this is what reference set and everything. So every time you might need to create manual also. Manually, you might need to create divisions, manually, you might need to create business units. That also possible. You can go ahead and create manually, or else you can create here as well. Okay, it's not like you have to create it from enterprise only, or you have to create it manually and only. No such rule like that. If you have all the requirements, just create everything here and then load it. Still, if you need any more, just go ahead and create manually. Okay, save and close. So now we have created enterprise. We have done all the configuration. Now, how to manage that HCM information? Like we just created how many legal entities we have, how many business units we have, only that stuff. But what is the worker number generation and workday hours, how many workday hours we have, and what is the employment model? We haven't chosen, right? So where we will choose is go to enterprise again and select manage enterprise HCM information. Okay, you have to select this task. Manage enterprise HCM information. So this is the area, see, it is already loaded. So by default, when I click on manage enterprise HCM information, it is coming. Okay. Next, let's edit it so that I can explain you field by field. Okay, so here you can give all the data, effective start date, end date, what is the status, and action reason. Obviously, you will start a new business or you are going to go new product or reorganization, anything. So action reasons also you can define according to your needs. Next, what could be the location of this particular enterprise? And coming to this workday information, and if you'd like to save any enterprise details, there will be a EFF enabled. How to create DFFs and EFFs we will see in the next session. And if you create those details, you can get it here. And coming to workday information means how many hours you are going to work. I mean, what is a working hours condition for your client or else for your business. Okay. For example, let's say standard hour working conditions is 40 hours. For some, it is 30, 50. So depending what are the standing working hours, standard working hours for your organization, you have to mention here. And frequency of it, weekly 40 hours or daily 8 hours. Okay, it's up to you. Next, what start time? From when the work will start and what are the regular hours, start time and time, we will give this data here. Next, coming to enterprise information, there is a worker number generation. See, worker number generation here is not mandatory. Generally, whenever employee is created, automatically corresponding person number will get generated. So we need mostly person number. We will query a unique person number will get generated, and we will mostly concentrate on person number generation. Then you might ask a question: what is this worker number generation? See, Worker number generation is, it is not mandatory, it will create generally who came from EBS. Still, if they want to use the same contact numbers or something, those cases they can utilize this worker number generation. Okay, even if you don't use also, that will be fine. Even if you like to use also, you can use it. And you can use, what are the different options we will see here. Okay, automatic, manual. Okay, at the legal employer level. Yeah, legal employer means at a legal employer level you can set it up, or else at the enterprise. By default, enterprise, whatever the enterprise worker number generation, it will take. Still, if you want to override it and if you don't give any value here, worker number generation you haven't used here, then if you specify at legal employer level, it will take from legal employer level. If you specify it at enterprise, obviously it will take it from the enterprise worker number generation. Okay. And if you use not used means you are not going to use worker number generation. Next, employment models. There are different employment models: 2-tier, 3-tier. Okay, 2-tier multiple employment, multiple assignment, and 2-tier single assignment, 2-tier single contract, single assignment. So you can choose any employment model. What is 2-tier, what is 3-tier employment model? We will take a separate session, because here we will explain what is assignment and work relationships and employment terms. So 2-tier we will have only assignment and work relationships, whereas in 3-tier we will have employment terms as well in between. Okay, worker terms, employment terms. So here allow employment, here 2-tier to 3-tier you can change it, and 3-tier to 2-tier you can change it if you don't have any existing employees or worker data, everything. So that time you can change it. But manually, if you have to change from 2-tier to 3-tier, what happened is there will be a 3 sub data you have to maintain: employment terms, worker terms, and assignment data, all 3. So if you come from 3-tier to 2-tier, what will happen is one tab will get waste, like you can't utilize it, it will just simply display the tab. So, and if you come from 3-tier to 2-tier, you're not going to utilize one more data like employment terms and all. So that and all we will explain it in the next session. What is employment model, what is 2-tier, what is 3-tier, and how can we change from 2-tier to 3-tier, and what are the different conditions we will see there. And next, allow employment times overriding assignment. If you would like to allow them, you can set it as no or yes. And people group flexible structure. We will utilize here cost allocation and people group structures. People group flexible, you can create it and you can utilize here. Okay. This you can see in the flexible, create, manage key flexibles, people group flexible. Next, salary at which level you are going to assign, at assignment level. Next, global person name language, US. Next, person number generation method. You want manually or automatically, you can select it. And while selecting it, from manually to automatic to manually, you can anytime change it. But if you want to change from manual to automatic, it will be difficulty. There will be a, because already some numbering will be there and system can't predict it. So that time you just need to write some formulas over there. Okay. Next, if you want to give any currency support information, you can mention here. And use and role provisioning information. What happened is user account creation. So when you create an employee, what will happen? Whether you want the user account needs to get created automatically or not. So that you have to specify here. What it meant by both person and party users means, there will be a person users means when you create an employee, automatically user account will get created. And when you create a party users means from manage users, generally this will be used in sales. So if you create it in from manage users also, user account will get created if you select both person and party users. Similarly, if you select only party users, if you create employee from HCM information, user account will not get created. Only if you create employee from manage users, means from sales perspective, then user account will get created automatically. Okay. So this is means how user account needs to get created automatically. We are specifying conditions here. Means when we create an employee, whether user account needs to get created, or when we create employee from managed users, means from party users, if you create user account needs to get created, or in both the cases it needs to get created, we are mentioning here. Okay, and at the same time send username and password, then set it out. Okay, if you want to send username and password, you can set it out as S. Next, role provisioning. At the same time for both party users, user account maintenance, yes, and alternate contact email addresses, default username format. Once user account got created, what should be the username format? Whether you want to give it person number or primary work email or first name dot last name or last name dot first name. So you, before mentioning this data, you have to get confirmation from the client how they would like to have their username. They want to use their direct email address, or else they want to use last name dot first name or first name dot last name, or else user or anything, whatever it is, you just need to get a confirmation from the client. Next, user account creation for terminate workers. So would you like to do that or not? You can mention say yes or no. Okay, and here you can give global payroll information to RQ and US balance information, position synchronization configuration. So in general, you won't, I mean, in the starting scenarios, you won't need to define all these things, but these are the mandatory until user and role information. Still, if you have this data based on your requirements, you can select it here. Enable position synchronization. So you can select different checkboxes, different options will be there. You can select all of them according to your requirements. These things are purely based on requirements. Okay. Clear so far how to manage HCM information? And what is worker number, what is person number? Worker number is not mandatory. Definitely, even if you don't create worker numbers also, it won't have any problem. But person number is by default, it will get created once you create an employee. These worker numbers generally you from the people like who will come from the EBS background, e-business suite background and all, if they want to continue with the same numbers, those cases only generally they will prefer to create worker number generation. And you can create them in legal employer levels or else enterprise information level. So whichever is primary, if you want to select at enterprise information level, you can define here, or else you don't want it at enterprise level, then you can define it at a legal employer level. Okay, and you can submit it so that this data will get affected. So far clear, or any questions?
We have to practice, practice it.